Toxic people. That's what today's topic is about. Would you like to be able to let go of the toxic people in your life? If so, this information may be of some help to you. We all have those people who come into our life, right? That maybe we don't feel our best around them. Maybe we tell ourselves that they're always taking advantage of us. Maybe we tend to argue and fight with them a lot. And this often happens in a family situation, whether it's you just can't seem to get along with your mother, you don't see eye to eye with your father, your siblings think you're too big for your britches, or maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's your spouse. And when we are in a toxic relationship, it can bring down our levels of self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, self-image, and self-worth. So what do we do about this? Well, this is where your beliefs come into play. So if you are in a toxic relationship with a family member, maybe it's a spouse, one of your children, one of your parents, or even a really good friend, someone that you've been friends with for years and years and years, and you've been putting up with something that finally you're at the end of your rope. You've hit rock bottom and you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to go through this again. No, this is not going to happen again. I refuse. So you make that affirmation, but then what is your next step? How do you let go of these toxic people? Here's something that I learned many years ago that was a huge, huge help to me. The Buddhists have a saying called noble friends. Noble friends are those people who come into our life to bring us grief, strife, anger, challenges, drama. Do you guys have someone like that in your life? Do you guys have a noble friend? How are you currently dealing with that noble friend? Are you in resistance? Because it's important for everyone to understand that every one of us comes into this world, when we're born, we come into this world with a sacred contract. That's what Carolyn Mays calls our karmic journey, our sacred contract. And part of our sacred contract is to feel specific feelings throughout our lifetime. So these noble friends, while it's always preferable to feel good, to feel positive, to feel happy, to feel joy, we also would never be able to understand the value of those happy, loving, exciting feelings if we didn't have contrast in our life. So to know dark, you have to know light. To know white, you have to know black. To know up, you have to know down. To know short, you have to know tall. So the emotions that you're feeling towards another person are also contrast. They are in contrast with what you want to feel. And you can check back a couple videos ago when I talked about what you want and what you don't want. But here's the thing. When you're telling yourself that you don't want that person to treat you that way, when you're telling yourself that you don't want to have to deal with whatever you're going through with that person anymore, again, you're concentrating on what you don't want. And remember, everything is energy. So what we're putting out there, I don't want this person to treat me awful. I don't want this person to be mean to me. I don't want this person to talk down to me. I don't want this person to take advantage of me again. See, you're putting that out there. So the universe, the law of attraction, which is always matching your vibration, is saying, okay, and it will bring you more of what you say you don't want, because that's what you're concentrating on the most. And when I first learned this, it was difficult for me. Again, sometimes, when you're first learning this and you really start to understand that everything that we are bringing into our reality, into our life, is something that we have been thinking about. Thoughts. We're really thinking about it. And then the words that we choose, we're spending a lot of energy on that. So when you have toxic people in your life, what are the thoughts that you're thinking? Are you constantly thinking about what you don't want from them? Now, this sounds like it's easier said than done. And sometimes this journey can be frustrating because, especially, I'm going to put it this way, this is about what you believe. So if you believe that it's wrong to stop talking to your best friend, if you believe that it's wrong to step out of a relationship, maybe step out of a marriage, step out of a work situation, because what do you mean you quit your job? What do you mean you're getting divorced? If you believe that's wrong, then you are allowing a belief that you have created somewhere in your past to dictate your choices right now. And that's leaving you feeling powerless because you feel like you don't have a choice. You feel like the only choice is try to make that person understand what they're doing to you, when in actuality, that person is doing what they do. So if we all came here with a karmic journey, if we all came here with a sacred contract, doesn't it stand to reason that whatever your contract is with that person also has a contract with you? And if the contract is to bring you strife, to be a noble friend, then that's what's going to happen. If your contract with them is to try to make them happy and they don't want to be happy, and you have a belief and very strong feelings like, no, I have to try harder. I have to try to make this person understand why I love them, why they're so special to me, why they should feel they're so special to themselves. And here's the thing. None of us have control over another person. No one has power over another person. The only thing we have power over are the thoughts we think, the words we use, and the choices we make. So when you are thinking about, okay, who am I hanging around with the most? Why do I always tend to get into these scenarios? That's the opportunity that your higher self is giving you to step back and say, what is it that I'm being given the opportunity to work through right now and let go of, rather than to stay in the struggle? And when you can answer that, the letting go process begins. Now, I will tell you from experience that when that is a family member, especially your mother, your father, your siblings, someone that you've been friends with for years and years, when you actually come up against that and you're saying to yourself, well, you mean the answer is to let go? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because when you let go, now you're not trying to force a situation, and you will feel a huge shift, a huge, like a weight lifted off of you. And that's because you feel lighter. You feel lighter at having let go of that burden. And then the next step that you want to really pay attention to is, are you second guessing yourself? Are you saying, oh, did I do the right thing? Oh my gosh, is this okay? Because remember, your job is to love you. Love who you are. And if something or someone is coming into your life and making you feel less than, remember, no one can make you feel anything. So this is something that you're given the opportunity to work through. That is your opportunity to say, all right, I am ready to let go of this. And then master your belief around the letting go process. If you'd like any more information on this, I invite you to visit masteringourbeliefs.com. Check around, spend some time on the site. There's something there at every level that you are. And if you have any questions, remember, ask your sensei. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.